Thanks for watching another episode of Time Out. And I hope everybody is going to have a great Father's Day weekend that's coming up. I want to shout out an early shout out to all the Father's Day, early shout out to all the Father's Day. So, guys, stay tuned. Don't change the channel because you know it's Wednesday night. And that means it's the One Eye Scout Show starring Kevin and Phil. Kevin, the One Eye Scout, and Phil. You know he knows it all, y'all. So stay tuned, and you can catch an episode of the One Eye Scout.
Said I just wish like I would have found you guys sooner. You know what I mean? Like especially like through my development stage, like, freshman all the way to senior year. I just wish I would have been on that side of town maybe and then got to connect with you guys. I definitely felt like it would have helped me a lot.
Hey, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. It's another Wednesday night, so that means another live show of the One Eye Scout. And man, I'm excited, a little frisky tonight. Uh, there's some big things going on in the city, and I want to bring in my sidekick, Mr. Philip Townsend.
What's up? L's up.
L's up. The wealth of knowledge from Langston University. Phil, man, I'm just excited because it's college camp season, and St. Mary's, St. Mary's put on a great camp, and a great elite camp. And, there was like the official number, I think was 58. But man, I counted probably about 20 guys that could be considered uh, Division two, low mid Division two to high mid Division two, and maybe some in the for sure in the team camp that was Friday and Saturday. For sure there was guys that were Division one, and
Really?
yeah, it may be low Division one, low mid major, but that man, I'm I'm telling you, um, I've been talking to people around the state, you know, uh, yeah, guys don't understand. They've been fed this narrative. They've heard it from their parents. They heard it from the media. They heard it everyone that Dallas is better than them. And right now, in our city, right now, there's probably uh, 3 to 4 guys that could be transformational for the narrative of that. And we got tweets there. I put out there's some certified guys already. And I'll put those guys out there like Amari Guerra, Talent Todd, Donovan Chris, and I'm sure I'm missing a few others. Logan's been on the scene for a good while over at Steel, but there's guys right there. And then you throw in a Latrell Hoover, is going to be like 6'11", 7-footer. You're going to a prep school,
Right.
uh, but then you start looking at that next level, that next tier. And in that first tier, I should have put Wyatt Clemens, young man that picked up that offer to A&M last week or two ago. But man,
Is this Kingsville?
Hmm?
Where's this?
Oh no, A&M,
A&M as in
SEC.
A&M.
Yeah,
Wow.
picked up his first offer was an SEC offer.
Wow.
And I've taken some heat from people for promoting him. But what nobody realized, and he didn't want to get out, is that he was playing with the foot injury during the season, still averaging 19, 20 points a game. And so now he's healthy, man.
Right.
And so, man, the one knock was, could he get off the floor? And I've been seeing in his workouts, I've been seeing he can definitely get off the floor. But the point was that next that next tier, man, if they really just fell in love with the freaking game and fell in love with building their craft, they could, they're in that next level. You know, and I'm getting worked up right now, but you know, one of those guys in there is Mason Thomas. You know, Mason has all the skills, all the size, all the bounce. And whenever it clicks, man, because I see him in big games, boom, 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 you know. Um, so, and that's not a knock on him. I
But is
think,
it
mhm,
Kevin? Is it that he's just lacking the consistency of doing it? Because you see everything there, or
yeah.
do you just think he just doesn't want it enough just yet?
Well, I think that he's, to be honest with you, during the summers, sometimes he's been a role player. Then he swings over to high school and he is the
The
player,
man, right?
but not in a situation that really allows him to thrive. You know, and I told him that like his position, his situation, really gives him versatility. But I really think, man, he could probably. There's some games in his district that he could get 20 points off 10 dunks if he goes after.
Right.
You know? And so, man, I'm high on him. I like him a lot. I like him as a person. I like him as, I want to see on a consistent basis what I see in big games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's another guy come on scene, Jaden Jones at Clark. You know, uh, me and the young man talked at times, and we talked about, hey, man, the only thing missing from your game is the athleticism that you're not showing. Now all of a sudden he's trying to dunk on people, get out, you know what I'm saying? So it's showing a hope. And guess what? Cal State Bakersfield talking with him. Then you go and the next tournament, he tries to put a dude in the cylinder. UNC Charlotte reaches out to him. So there's those little things that kids, I say kids, guys don't understand that just that little tweak uh, can put you over the top, And so, in the green room, we got Xavier Rendon, and he's
Mm.
one of those guys that we watched over last summer. And and X, come on in,
All
man.
star.
All star,
What I loved his body.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, there you go. There you
What's up,
go.
man? How y'all
Doing
doing?
all
Good,
right,
man.
man.
Good. No, I was just sharing with Phil and the people that, we started following each other last summer. And and we
Yeah.
talked about little pieces of your game. Actually, it was at St. Mary last summer when we really talked about how you had to rebound everything and not fall in love with a 3-point shot, you know. And so Phil, he made little tweaks to his game. He had some offers in the state, but he knew where he's wanting to go. He's wanting to be Division 1 out of JUCO, and so he went to a famous, or not a famous, but a very strong conference in Kansas, the
Yeah.
Jayhawk Conference.
Jayhawk Conference. Yeah.
So at Pratt. So tell us a little bit about what went into that decision, X.
Yeah, I think that as soon as I started communicating with Coach McBride and he reached out to me, it kind of felt like an instant bond, like we had known each other forever already. And I think that's the biggest thing that I look for in to a coach and to a program is, if you're able to build a bond with a player and the player is able to build a bond with the coach, there's no way that it's not going to work on the court. And we built that bond quick, and as soon as we built it, I knew that I was set on my decision on going to Pratt.
And just for people out there that think that I really guide people to certain schools, Xavier can tell you that Pratt wasn't my first pick for him, you know. But I told him like when different opportunities, because I originally wanted him to go down there with Jordan Thomas down to Coastal Bend. But at that point, he had already built a real relationship with Coach McBride, like he speaks about. And like I told him, man, it's your decision. It's not mine. So now that you've signed and know where you're headed, what's your calendar been like?
Man, it's been real busy. Uh, I literally just got out of the gym right now, and kind of get came home to hop on this live with y'all. But it's the gym every day. I wake up and I go shoot here at school, and then I work out, and then in the afternoon I head up to a place in Divine where I go shoot up there. And it's just constant in the gym. Watching what I eat, how I eat, trying to maintain a certain amount of calories. Just to put weight on me and make sure that I'm developing to be the player that they want me to be at the college level.
You know, I'm a, I think, go ahead, Phil.
Well, no, I want to get to where he's talking about he's working out and eating right and working his body. I tell you, when the first time I saw you, I told Kev I like his body, and then when you put the hops on and showed that you could do that and stuff. The one thing that probably I'd really like to see you do more of, and I think it's going to be in the show, is that I think that with your body, that you can maybe be just like a little bit more aggressive because you can take contact and work it. The thing is making somebody else feel you too. But I love, like I said, I think you've got a great body for making somebody know that they're going to be guarding you.
You know, one of the things that
I appreciate that.
uh, one of the things that talking about the body, man, is X gets so many deflections and turns into EG buckets on the other end. Uh, X, do you have a favorite dunk or favorite fast break moment that sticks with you?
Man, now coming into the summer now, I've been in the gym like crazy, and my vertical has shot up a lot. I think every time I come down a fast break, I like to, man, I'd like to throw a windmill in there,
Hmm.
or I like to try and just, raise it back, tomahawk.
Yeah, I've seen many of those on the baseline.
Kev,
Yeah.
X, I told you after the All-Star game that we had a running back. All of us said that you were going to get a dunk in that game before the game was over. It didn't come until the end, the very, very end. And we were sweating bullets, but you came through for us.
Yeah. So we talk just so guys understand what that summer looks like before you head off to school. Has Coach McBride and them sent you workout plans or what they want you to be doing right now? And when are you planning to report up there?
Oh yeah. Um, Yeah, no doubt. They're sending us workouts every day. They're checking in with us every day with a group chat. They're sending us how many shots we should be taking today, the amount of shots we should be taking from each spot, how many calories we should be getting in our body, as our body weight. I mean, they're checking up on us every day, and I think that's what coaches should do, keeping the connection. That way, when we get there, it's just hit the ground. We hit the ground running. My report date, I believe I'm going up there sometime in August.
Okay.
So the exact date, I'm not sure of it yet, but I do know when August hits around, that's when I'll be rolling up there.
You know, I'm gonna follow you, but when you get that JUCO Jamboree schedule, man, uh, it doesn't sound like a huge thing right now, but when it comes around, let me know, man, because I'm gonna like coming up there to see you. You know, I see your fresh fade on the side. Uh, I know that's very important to you. Hey, man, but I appreciate you getting on, dude. I know you're crazy busy. Um, you know, but I do want to get one thing in before we leave. Okay. Do you feel any added pressure?
I'll just do it.
Do you feel any added pressure to be successful and show what the smaller schools guys can do?
No, I don't feel no pressure at all. I think that first and foremost, I give all glory to the man above. And I think, he takes all the pressure that I have ever imagined. He takes it in his hands. I think I'm just out here, playing basketball, playing the game that I grew up playing as a kid, and you know, knowing that I'm a force of nature. I just come out and play every game like it's my last, and give it 110%. Because at the end of the day, it can be taken away in the blink of an eye. So I feel like there's no pressure on me because I've been blessed by the man above to come out and play the way that I play.
Hey man, blessings. Thanks for getting on. And everybody, that's our guy Xavier Rendon from Pearsall, Texas. Gonna head out to that JUCO grind. And thanks for being on. Me and Phil are gonna transition back to talking about some local camps here. And let's stay in touch, X.
Appreciate you.
All right, Phil.
Appreciate y'all.
Later, man. All right, Phil. So, we were
Man, I
just
like that guy. I like him.
oh, yeah. He's a good dude, man. Like he really is. Like, and when he says he don't feel any pressure, I don't think he doesn't feel any pressure for much, man. Uh, but I do want to close out that earlier conversation. That's not a knock on either one of those guys, but those are just a sample of that group that should be in that top tier that will get there. But I just think that guy and again, there are certified guys in the city. I'll give it that. So this isn't a blanket statement. But if it matches to what you think, if you're having to ask yourself, do you have more in the tank to give, then you probably need to start giving it. But camp season, we talked about St. Mary's. Well, let's talk about the invaders from Dallas. Dallas Baptist was here today over at Incarnate Word High School. And they have a big camp. I say a big camp. They do it by hours. Like they give you an hour, and it's probably 20 guys, and they do all the different combine things, and then it's the next group. Um, it must be working for them because he went to the Final Four, the Elite Eight. You know, but I do know Logan Gonzalez was there, Jaden Jones was there, and I know Maurice Eddy was there, and man, I only know him as Mookie. Mookie played at St. Anthony's, and he plays for behind the scenes. And I know Mookie was there as well. And so sometimes I feel like there's guys that go, but there's other guys that need to get themselves out there, And I don't know if they're ducking or ghosting or whatever you want to call it, but those opportunities are coming up. What's your thoughts on that, Phil?
Well, Kev, we'll take the ducking part first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some people might be ducking because they're feeling their game just isn't there yet. Maybe they haven't done the conditioning work that they know they need to do. Maybe there's some things they know they needed to work on and slacked on and don't want to go into that just now. And they might feel they have the capabilities of being to match up and go well with that person, but just not right there right now, and want people to see that version of them against that other person and go, whoa, no. But, then you have the people that recognize, that's just not me. I'm just not that person to be going against them. And, say, look, you save yourself, from yourself.
Yeah.
But look, I know, like if it were you, if it were me, I'd want to smoke. If I, if I were doing it. So I think you just get some people that maybe do some self-recognition, and then you got those that are going to go for it, like you say. They are straight up ready to ball out.
Yeah, I don't want to miss out on Coach Smith at Houston Tilston. We went out there on Saturday, and man, it was nice, man. Nice for HBCU tucked away in downtown Austin. the facilities, man. I love the color schemes. You know, that's and you can tell he's proud of it because that's a bright gold with a maroon contrast, and man, the shirt, everything looks nice about it. And the thing about it was the guys that he brought in. I mean, you talking about guys from Houston, North Shore. You know, you talking about guys from Colleen Ellison, uh, some of the other Colleen Chaparral. You know, guys from San Antonio, and it was a good mix. You know, class of '27 group in the afternoon. Um, or maybe they were in the morning, and wasn't quite as many, but the quality was there. You
Hmm.
know, and then the 26s is when San Antonio really rolled in. Uh, you know, DJ Miller from John Paul, he performed well at that level. You know, I told him and his dad afterwards I wasn't quite sure if his game was going to translate to public school, and that's not a knock. I
Right.
just haven't seen him. But man, he got his shot off. He got to his spots. Um, Hagen Hurst, you know, he looked good. Uh, he's trimmed up. You know, uh, and you know what's funny? There's a kid. I say kid, young man. I think his name's Tristan Thompson. I'm sorry if I butcher your name, young man, but I saw that young man at St. Mary's elite camp.
Uh-huh.
I saw him at St. Mary's team camp, and I'll be damned if I ain't see him at Houston Tilliston on the Saturday. So 3 days in a row, I was in the same gym as that young man, and we'll be catching them up at TABC. But you know, I I appreciate everybody following us on TAN TV. You know, they've given us a great platform. It's been a joy working with. But let's move into summer leagues. You know, the summer league play right now, and it's interesting because um, I go back and forth on this. Um, you know, um, we have seniors, right, and they're playing in this summer league, which I'm kind of 50-50 on, to be honest with you, especially right before their last live period in a week. You know, and it was interesting to me. I don't know where I heard it, but UIL only says you can play a certain number of games a week. NCAA says you can only play a certain uh, number of camps. But man, when I looked at guys that went to the University of Oklahoma team camp, they played 9 games in 2 days. You know, and thinking about all the different games in summer league and the AAU tournaments, um, I think when you throw all that together, that was the first time I ever really stopped to think. This is right before live period. You know, um, but I don't know, man. You may
Kev,
feel
Kev,
different. Yeah, I wanted to get yeah.
state again about the importance and how you're saying all of this is going on before live period. Tell the audience what the live period is.
Okay. Remember back, live period is where Division I coaches get the opportunity to be in the gym, talk with you, mingle with you, and there's only a set number of days, and it's like 3 weeks to not 3 weeks. It's set apart like in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, a couple of 2 days, um, and so they can watch on live stream, they can watch other, but to actually be in the gym with the ability to speak to you, and so you know. I know a young man, I'm gonna keep his stuff private, but he rolled his ankle right before the second live period. And I'll be damned if he didn't have a high ankle sprain and he still ain't on the court. You know, so he's missing 2 times. Now, fortunately for him, he's underclassmen, but he's missing 2 times to really put on for himself, you
Right.
know. And so I know within within the doghouse. We scale it back to no contact as those live periods approach, and especially throughout the season. But it's just interesting, like talking about the summer leagues again, right?
Right.
Uh,
Simple
I
boom. Coming.
yeah, and then I see, um, I got some feedback. I had put some things up about a young man and was told, that was the only plays that he made the whole night. Well, is he giving 100 because he's trying to save his body? You know, um, I know there's another man, your man from Antonia that didn't play the first couple of weeks. But he again was coming off so many games. Take care of the body. Um, I don't know, man. I just think that everything has to work together. But with all these games going on, I feel like with all these games going on, and you have summer league, you have fall league, and you have this league, when's the development happening? When? Because you're having to, like in a high intensity person, you're having to massage your training regimen versus how many games you're playing.
Playing the game to get the eyes on you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'll talk and I'll speak. Tim Springer brought it to my attention. Trainer. I enjoy his son plays at Johnson, but I've only been over there to his place once or twice. Well, and I enjoyed it. But he was like, we were talking about playing open gym, a structured open gym, and he kind of went through a mental checklist of how many times he had his guys work out, how many games were coming up, how many they would have it. You know what? They have a day off before. Hey man, I'd be okay with it. And so like, yeah, there's a lot that goes into this. You know, but I digress. So we'll go ahead and.
But Kev, let me just
Mhm,
touch on like you
mhm,
mentioned, some of these guys playing in so many games and so many games so soon. And again, we're back to taking care of your body. It's that old expectation. If you see one of the superstars in the NBA, guess what? You expect for him to bring it every night and
mhm,
have it every night. And
mhm,
when people see something of one of these star players, they're only looking and expecting that person to have it and bring it every night, not necessarily that, this might be his sixth game in a short period of time. And
mhm.
it's like, hey, I'm giving what I got, but I don't have it. And therein comes times when sometimes you have to make a self adjustment and think and look at, okay, I just don't have that energy to work both ends. Yeah, they know I can score. I'll give it some scoring, but the one thing that I can do, and it's about that whole effort thing, and it's not a percentage going, is I can put that defense in and hustle and do those things like that. And look, it can even show a brighter side to you something. Because remember, that camp is what, Kevin? It ain't a field trip.
No, it's a job opportunity, and it ain't for everybody. And
Ain't
that's
for
what
everybody.
we start looking, and guys separate themselves. You know, who who laid out that foundation of road work to build up your body to be able to take this. One guy that comes to mind that I don't think gets enough credit outside of a few circles is Amari Guerra from Antonian,
Mm-hmm.
plays with pro skills on the EYBL circuit. But man, you go back and I remember seeing video, and I don't know who posted them, but Amari running 2 or 3 miles before dark with his dad driving behind him with the headlights just so he knew stayed on the road and such, and that guy's always running, always moving, never seems to get tired. I mean, I'm sure he does at some point, but and he leads the EYBL in in leads the EYBL in steals.
Kev, we got to see if we can get him right here on the One-Eyed
Yeah,
Scout.
you know what? I'll talk with his father, because they'll see this on Twitter, because he's got some family that makes sure he sees it. So Amari and I have a pretty good relationship. We've had other interviews, but no, I think we should work on getting him on here on our platform. Um, you know, really, we talked about TABC a little bit as far as being a live period. Um, but in closing, I want to do it justice. Um, it's one of, if not EYBL, if not Adidas, the New Balance League, um, TABC, man, there will be coaches packed like sardines. And for someone like me, that's like a kid in a candy shop, man. And I'm fat, so I get a lot of candy. But but no, man, and one weekend can really change your life, and so I want, as we have, a final tune-up gas hole this weekend. There's numerous college camps. I know I'm planning to drive down to Corpus to watch one, to evaluate one. Got off the phone with Lamar earlier, and we're gonna be down there the week after TABC. But man, just looking forward. This is an exciting time, man. People that kind of know my routine, like, oh, you get some time off in the summer, man. That's when we really crank it up, And so, man, hey, you know what? I never tell you, man. Thanks for being on here.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Let me tell you this. I appreciate you because here's one thing I know is that, you have people that talk and say they're a scout or they evaluate and do this and that, but I get to see you in real time. It's unmistakable your passion that you have for the game and these kids, and the excitement that you get from talking to coaches and getting their input on things. So it's great. And so when I say this, I say when Kevin Howell, the One-Eyed Scout, is telling you what he's seeing and letting you know what he knows, is genuine, is real, and he's as real as it can get. So that's you, Kevin Howell, the One-Eyed Scout.
I appreciate that, man. And as we come to a close, because I want to be mindful that we do have an NBA Finals game that's about to tip off, and my DMs are starting to hit about get the hell off. But no, man, very appreciative to TAAN TV. We partnered with Clutch Shot AI, and they're helping us with some of the highlights and such. And if you have any questions about that, hit me up. But as we come to a close, remember, just because we didn't talk about you, you got your feelings a little bit hurt. This game ain't for everybody. I mean, Phil did it, so it's for a lot of people. All right, thanks everybody, and go watch the Knicks. No, not the Knicks, the Pacers. We're not even gonna get into that.
We're not gonna get into it.
No. All right, Vance, hit us with the outro.
Especially like through my development stage, freshman all the way to senior year, I just wish I would have been on that side of town maybe and got to connect with you guys. I definitely felt like it would have helped me a lot.